fact, I can't tell you how many times when I've gone to an environmental conference, I'll have some women that come up and they want me to do something, or they want the key to it. And the thing of it is you know, and it's something I learned when I was doing when I first started, is like, I am not well educated. I'm a fisherwoman. I'm a woman, and I'm from a very small town. So really, and I believe this lie. So for the first 5 years when I was really fighting, I really kept waiting for someone else who was going to step up, who was going to be better educated, who was going to be well-spoken, who was going to have the respect of everybody, and everybody would just sit there and listen to him. And I found out after 5 years, I was the right person that was to be there. And I found that out. And the thing is that is what everybody should realize, is that, and when I think it was Margaret Mead or somebody that said that who we are looking for is us. And I think everybody else has forgotten how powerful they can be. I really do. I mean, there's a lot of politicians down in Texas, I know, but believe it or not, I did not vote. I won't say that real clear. I did not vote, because I guarantee you, where my faith lies with you people, that's where it is. That's where I vote. And people have to remember their strength and their power, and I think that's why people don't, because they don't think it's them, and it's better not to look at it if they can't handle it. It's control, or I don't know what it is.
Well, I'm not fighting with you.
Oh no,
I'm angry about it, and you know they may ask us to leave from here.
No, they're not going to.
Why
we talk to them. See, I'm a union member, so I kind of understand what the you know, part of the politics, ridiculous politics.
Yeah, they're saying fuck politics, and they're using it.
Right. Yeah, they're telling us to not do system. Right. You know, to go out of the box. Well,
that's
what
right.
we're doing.
That's right.
And
well,
now
that's what I was.
Pressing us.
That's right. That's right.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, we're trying to get the message out. We need all hands on deck, and we can't go in there and film the event to publicize it.
That's right. That's right. I have a huge audience in San Francisco. I'm a journalist and a videographer. They just cut off a huge demographic that I can now not talk to. But I got.
Well, we're gonna try to talk.
I may.
Yeah. Well, let's get. You know, let's do our little union here.
We can.
Yeah, you know, because I think people should be aware.
We could have a protest.
What I would recommend is what she told us, okay? Is when you're finished with your interviews, you know, send that guy Max something to to show your good faith, and that you believe in the whole copyleft philosophy. And she thinks that he may reciprocate. You just have to wait for them to come out with the product first, probably. That's it. You know what I mean?
So what happened to you?
I want it. If you
videoed
what he said, I want to hear it later. Okay, so please put it out. Please
okay, so what happened to you in there with being a journalist?
Feel free to ask me specific, directed questions.
Okay,
that helps.
What's your name?
Okay, I am Carol Harvey. I am a journalist and investigative reporter, and I like to call myself a videographer. I do take video, and I take a lot of video because I need to embed this video and do interviews for the articles that I write. This is going to interfere. We need to find another place. Okay. You're going to have background noise. I don't want to talk over that. I don't want to do it. So let's go out here.
Yeah, if you could sit right here.
Just a second.
I had a chance to sit down with Guy McPherson already. Had a great talk with him.
And so what happened in there?
What happened in there is that as I was videoing and photographing, and I got a stamp, I showed them my press pass, I got through these doors, completely legal, allowed to go down in there. I talked to the gentleman who gave me trouble later. I talked to him earlier. They made me stop photographing, and they made me stop videoing.
And how do you feel about that? And what was the reason they gave you to stop?
They didn't really give a very good reason. Let's see, what did they say? I'm not allowed to video, and if I continued, they would take me out. I asked why, and they said the event planners just have a rule that I wasn't allowed to video.
And did they say anything about the union?
When early on, they made one of them made this perfunctory statement about a union, and I said, oh, no, he was just throwing that out as a little non-statement kind of cue to me, something about a union. So I figured out myself as I was in there videoing, looking around, that it was probably the videographers' union that didn't want competition. But I think it's more than that. I think there's more going on. And at this point, I really don't have the whole story about why they made me and a number of other people stop videoing. And they were really distracting and walk in front of you and, you know, distract you from the speakers while they're telling all these people to stop. One of them was you. So another rather stunning and horrifying thing happened. One of the panelists, the woman, the first one, I forget her name, hear me, you got hers, don't you? You have some of hers. I have photographs of her too. She had given an address, which I was able to get all the way through. As she's sitting there waiting for one of the other panelists, while the panelist was speaking, she walked, I was sitting right in a seat in front of the stage. She walks across the stage, kneels down, looks at me and tells me to stop videoing.
She was one of the organizers.
She was one of the organizers and speakers, this highly revered, highly touted expert that I should be paying attention to, did a little bureaucratic number on my head. First of all, Diane, what was her name? Wilson, who is a Code Pink person, a fisherwoman, and somebody I very much admire, said that we should, working within the box wasn't working very much anymore, and a number of other speakers echoed this, so we had to work out of the box now. Well, hey, I'm over here working outside the box all the time. I didn't have any problem with that at all. I know working inside the box is over. You know,
so, yeah. So not.
So here we are in this carefully crafted environmental thing, the earth at risk. We're here doing our due diligence, trying to get the word out, and they are telling us that we have to work within their box, and probably because their funder is paying the photographers and the videographers that they hired. That was magnificent. Thank you so much. Now comes the issue, and if you want to segue out of here at any moment, I want to tell you, we're working outside the box. They say to work outside the box. They say to protest. They say not to accept things as they are expected to be. You said that in your poetry. Well, we're doing it. Do you know both of us were told to leave, that we couldn't video in there? Thank God I got all your poems first before they got me.
As a talent of of one of the performers here, how do you feel about independent journalists taking video of you performing and then putting it on the net for free?
I'm okay with it. I think that that's probably because it happens frequently. You know, we're dealing with the culture of YouTube and people with smartphones that will, you know, point them at you and hit record, and then you'll see yourself the next day. I think fundamentally why I don't have a problem with it is because the work is mine. It continues to be mine, but that doesn't mean that it should not live in other places and spaces and that people should not have access to it. I think part of the reason why I write and read it all is so that people do have access.
Diane's only up there speaking because we got her, because we had to get this building to get her here to speak at all. This is the tools we're working with. If we weren't here, this conference may not have happened. So for you to be able to come and me to give you a free media pass into the thing to watch Diane,
it's an excuse.
You're not, I mean, you already just said that you're not going to listen to me, so I don't.
I didn't say
I'm listening to you. I'm listening
I know,
to you. I want to know.
I
want to know.
Pointedly did not
We're just
say
dealing with the
I wasn't
rules
going
that
to
the
listen
union
to
gave
you.
us.
Do not tell me what I said. I didn't say that.
Okay.
So, okay, the union said exactly what the union said.
It gave us some rules. I'm actually not the film guy. It gave us a short list of rules and of union approved organizers and filmers, people who were allowed to film. Otherwise, we can't use the space. So we're like, well, we either don't have the conference or we deal with their rules.
What about freedom of speech? Did you even consider that?
Asking them to...
No,
to
yeah, I mean,
we wouldn't have been
this-
able to have the conference here.
Okay. So why did you go against freedom of speech?
Why didn't you find a place where you could have it?
We tried. You're making it seem like we didn't try.
I'm
and
not
like we
making
didn't...
it seem in any way. I am asking you a simple question. Why didn't you look for a place where you would not have this kind of restriction? Please say it again.
I just said we did.
For the camera.
We did. We looked.
Where did you look?
In various locations. Listen, you are now acting, very confrontational here, and I have organizing to do.
That's the idea of protest.
I
Do you
know.
understand what protest is?
I do.
It is confrontation.
You're going to
And
be
yes,
asked to leave
I am
in a second
confronting
here.
you
You're gonna
because
be
what
asked to
you
leave
did
if
was
you continue.
wrong. Shame
I
on
disagree.
you.
I
What
disagree.
you did was wrong. You
I disagree.
see, this is whitewash. That's what this guy was sent out here to
I'm sorry.
explain it away
I'm sorry. You'll need
and
to leave
make
now.
us feel like we're doing something wrong.
You'll need to leave
in
now.
a conference
You'll need
in
to
which
leave
we
now.
were told to
Okay,
work
leave.
outside the box. And you tried to shame me from getting in here by saying you gave me this stamp for free? You advertised this.
Yes,
I was
we did.
prepared to pay. And now you're saying you're doing me a big favor?
No, please leave.
No.
You're not going to listen
No.
to me.
No.
It's clear
I
you're
did,
not going to
I
listen
did
to
listen
me.
to you.
Are you the bouncer?
You don't know how to answer me.
I've been
That's the
answering you
problem.
since you've been talking
Answer
to
me now.
Okay, what's your question?
Say this.
Say what?
What other places did you find as alternative spaces
I wasn't the one
for
to look
this?
into that.
I only work here.
That's like the Nazis.
That's right. I didn't
So
do
you
it.
come to
It
an
wasn't
environmental
me.
social justice conference where we get all of these speakers and start calling the organizers Nazis.
And I should be
this is
in.
the most
I
pathetic
should be.
thing.
I didn't call you a
grateful?
Nazi. I said it's just like following
Pete's sake.
That's
orders.
your
Please leave.
reframing.
I'm done. I'm done.
Because
I am
you
done with
have
this.
no
Please
answer.
leave.
Video. You have no answer. You don't have an answer, an adequate answer, and that's why you're done. That's why you're done. Let's be clear on that. And you are twice my size? What are you going to do? I have a loud voice and I'm bringing on the thunder. Are you going to take me bodily outside that door? I also have a very loud voice. Are you going to shut me up? Why are you standing here looking kind of threatening? We have a reasonable response to being stopped from getting out the information in this conference. We're having a reasonable response to it in a conference in which one of the speakers said, protest.
Well, I'm sorry, but the conference is being live
You're
streamed
not sorry.
right now.
Don't say you
Yeah.
are. You're not one bit sorry.
Well, I'm sorry
You're
about this
telling
confrontation
you
that we have to bring
No,
this
you
kind of
don't.
tension into a really positive.
Confrontation was encouraged by
Yeah,
Diane the
confrontation with those
fisherwoman.
in power, not with each other.
You're in
That's
power,
what
my
destroys
friend. You are security.
activists.
And you are in power.
have no-
You have the physical ability
Really,
to take me bodily and move me out of here. And you look pretty confident, my friend.
So I'm in
'Cause you can
power,
do
so
that.
I get to command like the U.S. military or my mining corporation.
You are quasi-military. Let's be clear.
Just because I wear a shirt?
Because you are security.
yeah.
Do you know how that? You are a young guy.
Have you put-
don't know
have you
how.
ever-
Wait. Hold on. You don't know how this evolved, do you? Because you haven't been alive long enough to know. Security evolved. It's a military organization. Are you security, or do you just wear the shirt?
I am security.
And here are
we
three
have
of them.
escorted-
Three of them. My loud voice is bringing on yet another person who is looking at me in a very threatening way, a very directed look. Why is it 3 against 1 right here?
There's nobody against anybody, ma'am.
Really? 1, 2, 3, 1. I can count to 3.
We're still not against you, ma'am. You're misrepresenting this issue.
No, I'm not misrepresenting this issue. I'm representing it exactly accurately. There are 3 of you and 1 of me, and that's a threat.
No, we're not against you.
Just right on the surface. It's a threat. Is
there
it not
is there
a threat?
point that you're trying to make here?
Oh, you came in.
Well,
You're a Johnny-come-lately.
ma'am, we've asked
This
you
has gone on for about half
to
an hour, and
voluntarily
you're
follow the
expecting
rules of
me
this
to
event.
review the situation for you?
No, I'm expecting you to treat others with respect here. This is
I
what a
have
big
been
portion of what this.
treated with great disrespect, and I, my friend, am protesting it, like Diane, the fisherwoman, said we should do. I'm standing outside your box, and I'm protesting the fact that we tried to video this environmental conference, and we were kicked out of it. We were stopped. Now,
the labor union, you are
have
directly interfering with their jobs here. That is horrible solidarity with laborers.
Capitalism. I am a union organizer.
Well, that's okay.
We need to get out the information, and those people need not to be threatened by us.
Question that
You
the
can
information
still
is
get the
gonna come out.
information.
Yeah.
You just have to ask for it.
Yeah.
Did you
I
bother to
want
ask?
to video.
No.
I'm a
So-
videographer,
This has
and
nothing
that's
to
the
do
way I
with
chose to get
politics.
the information out.
They're the videographers for this, ma'am.
No,
They are.
We came in, both of us. She spent $1,000 getting here.
Okay.
Listen to this instead of looking at the ceiling and just glazing over. She spent money getting here. Our task is to get information out to the public. This is important information that we're trying to get to the public.
It's getting
and
to the
we
public
have
in
been
every
stopped.
possible manner.
Yeah,
We're
but we're
not.
part of that.
They're-
We are
you are violating
citizen
their
journalists.
rules. You're violating their rules.
You are violating. You're violating
The labor unions.
First
The labor unions.
Amendment of the Constitution.
How so?
The first freedom of speech and press, and we are press. You're violating that. You're violating the Constitution.
this is their
Are you
law.
aware you're
This is the
violating
court
the
of law.
Constitution?
This
This
isn't
is the
something-
United
we're not-
States of
we're not in a
America.
position of power
That's
like
the
that.
Constitution.
You need
That's
to-
the law
okay, you need
we
to de-escalate
function
right
under.
now.
You need
lower
to
your
stop
voice
telling me to
and calm down,
de-escalate.
or
You
we
need
will
to
contact
listen.
the law and get you
You
removed.
need to listen.
Would you like to do that?
Military? Is there a threat going on here? Did I say there was a threat going on here? I think there's a threat going
She thinks
on
we're
here.
military somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, he's threatening to call the cops. He's threatening to bring in no, they're gonna really call the police.
Well, that's what we have to do.
Yeah,
Disrupt the
and
people.
this guy told me, and you told me there was no threat. There's a threat. You're threatening to call the police.
You're disrupting
have-
what the labor union
Oh,
has
I'm
already
sorry.
organized.
That's what
you're interfering with organizers.
Every protest
So-
is about
You're doing the work
is
of the state.
disruption.
Exactly.
And so-
You are harming the labor union
No,
here by
I am
trying
not
to interfere with
harming
their
them.
rules.
We
They are the ones that are
could
videography.
do our
and
work
if you would
for
like to
free,
get, if you'd
and
like to
they
get a hold
could
of their
be
pro-
paid.
They
No
can work for free
problem.
and they could be paid? What?
We
can't
could
work for
do
free and be
the
paid.
Citizen journalism not allowed.
Why is it not allowed inside the walls? Well, this happens to be a union facility, and to speak to their rules, I'm not going to speak to their rules. They're the ones who make the rules here, and that is what they've asked us to do as part of the contract that we signed for using the venue. So if you have a problem with any of that, you should probably take it up with the union that actually does the video.
Okay, there's a sideways shuffle. Sure, we're going to contact the union. Of course, in the fullness of our time, we're going to contact the union.
Sure.
This is not bloody likely, and you know that going in.
If you don't want to do it, don't do it. It's not up to me. I don't
And
make
so
those
are
rules.
we allowed to do interviews in there, in that room?
Not at this point. At the point you've been harassing people, we're not going to want you to come back in.
We have not. They have broken the First Amendment to the Constitution.
Who
By doing
What's
that?
the name of the union?
She's describing me as breaking the First Amendment to the Constitution. Gotcha.
It's freedom of press.
It really
Yeah,
it
it
is.
really is.
Understand that. And
Yeah.
this is it's a public event, but it is a
What's-
private venue on private property.
What's the name of the union?
Honestly, I don't know.
So how could I contact a union in whose name I can't get?
Wait, it's a
I could find out for you if you'd like.
No.
About finding out about the
no,
rules.
No, I like that
I'm
other
happy
part
to.
that you talked about where this was a public event in a private venue.
It is
so
a-
you're dealing with half of the issue, which is half of the First Amendment. This is freedom of press and speech that is being violated. How do you answer that?
I'm not sure.
You say it's a public event, but you say it's in a private venue. So because it's a public event, we have rights of freedom of speech and press, which is us.
It's not interferes with the union.
Yeah.
So.
And it's not public in the sense that it's
Well,
run by
I
the
really
government,
did
so
ask
we
him.
actually can't
Now
violate the
now
First
you
Amendment.
are three-teaming me.
I'd be happy to
I
answer
want
as best I
know.
can.
Please answer it.
Okay, so this is really an establishment event.
Absolutely. The Palace of the Fine Arts is greatly known for that.
Okay, so we're in an establishment, organization, and
A venue.
a venue.
Venue, but it is a public event. This man just said it was a public event, which puts it
Open to the
squarely
public to
under
purchase
the authority of the United States Constitution. Constitution. Any public event I go into, I have freedom of speech and press, which is violated here.
That only continues until you continue to interrupt other
I
people
would
and interfere
really
with their
like
freedom of
this
speech.
gentleman
I'm happy to
who
answer
I
it.
was directing the question to.
What I'm going to do to answer
Don't
it.
accuse me of interrupting while you're interrupting.
So I'm happy to answer it in that I am not a lawyer. I know what I've been told by the union and by the reps, by the people who are hosting us here, and that's as far as I can tell you. I don't know any more than that. I am not a lawyer.
So you have to be a lawyer to understand the First Amendment of the Constitution?
Absolutely,
You do
I would
not.
say. I would absolutely say you do, because I can tell you I've read it and I do not understand it as well as a lawyer.
Well, then
So-
read it again. It's pretty clear. Thomas Jefferson and the people involved wrote it to be clear to us.
I would love that
us
to be
folks.
the case now.
And it really is. It is clear. It clearly says we have full rights of freedom of speech in the press if we go into a public event. You do not have to consult a lawyer to know the truth of that.
Not a lawyer. I can't answer that question. I do not know.
Okay, you didn't.
But-
You'll hear me. You didn't accept the premise going in. You don't need a lawyer to understand full free right of freedom of speech and freedom of press in a public event, which this is.
It's a public event on private property. I'll tell you that much. And I do not know where the legality lines are.
There's
but
that magic dividing
I will
line.
allow that I was that
King
I'm informed the way
Solomon's-
that it is.
King
And
Solomon, in order to give the baby to one set
You're
of parents or
welcome.
the other, cut the baby in half. That's what you're doing.
thank you very much. Go ahead and call it.
You don't understand the parallel. The
Go ahead and take
parable.
it. This is crazy.
You gotta go read your Bible. Anything you don't understand is crazy to you. And you
You're
don't
putting
understand the
violating
parable.
the union's laws in a biblical
No,
context. That's
I'm not
pretty
talking about the
crazy, yeah.
union's laws. I'm talking about the fact that this gentleman just told us this
Have a good
was
day.
a public event.
Do you understand?
You're not listening to me. Listen to me.
Wait a minute, he's going to talk to the police now.
Yes,
Let's get this.
this is the Palace of the Fine Arts Security. We have 2 disruptive individuals who have been cornering and harassing people that we've been asking them to leave. If you could please send a police officer to make sure that they leave the premises, that would be...
Harassing us. You are the only people that we have talked to, and you're harassing us.
Justin?
Why? We haven't been harassing
No.
anybody else.
How arrogant can you be? You are the harasser.
2.
We're the victims. How arrogant can you
Yeah.
stand there and say that? You lying liar. Threatening me?
No, I'm
I would say you're
cutting you
threatening
off
me.
so we can speak clearly to the police.
Oh, really? I would say that's a double threat, wouldn't you? I don't think you're too smart. I don't.
They're both
You need
female.
to study some of the things I've been talking about and remember that.
Both Caucasian.
You're not thinking clearly at all. You're not.
I would estimate in their 60s.
You need to get it. And get it fast.
5'2",
Also
5'4".
Just because you lose 6
Could you say that again?
Completely sexist.
If you prefer, we can have our female security guards help escort you if you'd like to.
Against the backdrop of that end violence against women and children over there.
You know, and the sad thing is, we can't even get people out there to support us.
Well, stop following us! Stop following us! Stop following us!
He's like the CIA or something. You're like the CIA. They won't leave us alone.
Let's go ahead and give her 5 cases. Okay.
You know what it is?
Videoing.
Yeah.
Look
Here
at
they
this.
come. Here's the CIA. Here they come, following us, harassing us.
Oh, no.
I'm just here as an organizer, and right now you're interrupting.
Oh, yeah.
And
now
we
you're
need
trying to
people to
use
leave.
some kind of logic. You need to give up on this. And you're trying to make yourself feel better by
I don't
saying,
really
I'm just a peaceful, nice guy, just doing my job. But that's what all the murderers all down through history have said. And you're nothing but the front lines. You're cops. You're quasi-cops, and that's all you are. And somebody turns the key in your back and tells you what to do, and you follow their orders. That's who you are.
I'm one of the organizers for the event.
You're an order guy. You have no importance at all. You're a drone to these people.
All of us are, ma'am.
I'm reminded of American political activist Mario Savio and his best-known line. He was participating in the sit-in at Berkeley Sprawl Hall, just across the bay from here, on December 2nd, 1964. In response to a speaker, he said, quote, "There's a time when the operation of the machine becomes so odious, it makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part, and you've got to put your bodies on the gears and on the levers and on all the apparatus, and you've got to make it stop." It's that time. It's been that time since at least December 2nd, 1964.
Hello, this is Doctress Neutopia, and I've been kicked out of the Earth at Risk conference for standing up for freedom of speech and freedom of the press. And what I mean by that is that the organizers said that people could not video unless you were the select few. Those select few were people that are in the union. And no one else, no other citizen can use their cell phone to record anything that went on in that conference. And I just think that's wrong. So I stood up for that, me and another woman who now is a soulmate. Man, we just really became activists together, and we resisted the oppression of that conference. It's part of the pillars of Western civilization to have it at this fine arts center where they demanded people not be citizen journalists. I feel like it was humiliating to get kicked out, but it's a good humiliation because I know what I did was speaking my truth and trying to record other people's truths. And that's not a crime, even though they wanted to criminalize that. That is not a crime. It's what we should be doing. Anybody that has a video, a phone, record these messages of importance. For the world, for the birds, for all the species that are going extinct, we got to get this message out. And this is what Gaia wanted from me. Stand up for truth.